Friends, Greg Newmaster coming at you again with another action figure review. I gotta say, I'm pretty ecstatic about this one. I've been waiting, and so many of you out there have been waiting for over 2 years for Wave 2. This is Thundercats Ultimates Tygra, Wave 2 from Super 7. And yeah, been waiting so long for this figure. And you all have been as well, and I'm just over the moon that it came today. I live on the East Coast, or east side of the country, in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Some people will dispute if it's East Coast or not, but it's definitely not the Midwest, what some people like to think of Pittsburgh. It is the east side of the country, at least. That being said, if you like this video, please like and subscribe and help me to build up my channel, because I love making these videos and I love talking about it and I love interacting with you guys on the comments. So that being said, Thundercats Ultimates Tygra, probably, I'm going to have to say, he's my second favorite Thundercat. It's a toss-up between him and Panthro, but I think I like Tygra just a little bit better. He's the architect of the team. He seems as if he's the wisest member of the team. Granted, all of the older Thundercats are wise. Cheetara and Panthro, they're all very wise. And obviously there's Jaga, who's the Obi-Wan Kenobi in ghost form of the Thundercats. But Tygra's just so cool. What really got me is, if you watch the introduction of the show, which is some of the finest Japanese animation I've ever seen, it is just so sleek and so snappy, and you just have that opening image of Tygra snapping his whip and pulling it back and just jumping up in the air, and it's just like a quick dash, and it just looks so cool. And he's just so agile and dynamic, and he's a tiger, and Lion-O's a lion, and the two most powerful big cats. Just something awesome about them and about that character. And like I said, he was the architect of Cat's Lair and the Tower of Omens. He's always collaborative and helping to build the tech along with Panthro. And he's just wise. And in the comic books, some of the really good Wildstorm comic books, he actually ends up marrying Cheetara, which I think was really cool. I also liked in the new Thundercat series in 2011, I think it was, the new updated version. I liked how they made Lion-O and Tygra brothers, and there was sort of that competitive edge with them. They competed about everything. Granted, it made Tygra more of a jerk and less of a wise mentor figure for Lion-O, but I liked how they competed for the love of Cheetara, even though Tygra eventually won out because he was more her age and more her type, and Lion-O on that show was still a whiny little boy, or teenager, and goodness, he was a 12-year-old trapped in a man's body in the original show, so I don't even think he was focused on love at that point, but he's just a great character. The fact that he has the whip, the Bolo Whip, and all the neat things that thing can do, catch on flame, he wraps it around himself and he turns invisible. The great story of the Cave of Time, where he turns into an old man. I remember thinking that was really cool visually as a little kid. And yeah, he's just awesome. He has cool quips, and he's just cool. He's awesome. Second favorite Thundercat. So enough of me babbling. Let's bust this guy open. Waited 2.5 years for this, so let's get a good look. Here is the cover box that comes, and that's what it looks like on the back. Nothing on the bottom, so they give you a nice slip cover. So I already opened these briefly. I didn't fully open them, but just for the sake of the review. So for whatever reason, my Wave 2 was put in the box backwards, where normally they are aligned forward. Maybe that's because it came from the Mattel factory and it was such a hassle to get these and they rushed to do it, but whatever, not a big deal. Just an interesting thing. I love how all the figures now come wrapped in this plastic. So it was taped on the bottom. I already cut the tape so the plastic could come off. Also, beautiful boxes, beautiful packaging, the nice Thundercats logo, the original Thundercats logo, the name spelled out in the original writing font. It says Tygra, Super 7 there, Ultimates on the top, and we got the classic Thundercats logo on the back. And that's what it looks like on the bottom. We have WB licensing there. And choking hazard may contain small parts. Adult collectible, not a toy. Well, it certainly is a toy to me, my friends. So, this slip cover is really tight on my Tygra box for whatever reason, but I'm going to pull it off. And there he is, my friends. And you know what? There's been a lot of griping about this figure, which is understandable, and I do have a few gripes, but I gotta say, to see him in person, he looks pretty damn good. He doesn't look like the prototype, he doesn't look like what was displayed. The colors are a little bit off, but he looks damn good. I'm excited to have this figure, I'm not gonna lie. So that's what he looks like on the box, and here's one of the complaints is, so the coloring is a little bit off. And this is the reaction figure image, I'm pretty sure. And here's what it says here. It says, Tygra, Lion-O's counsel and trusted lieutenant, is the oldest Thundercat, cool-headed and gifted with a scientific mind. He's a master of the bolas, a whip-like weapon that can also make him invisible. And he has the power to put convincing illusions into the minds of others. So I always thought that was cool how they gave the other Thundercats extra powers, because Lion-O has the Sword of Omens and the Claw Shield, and he can do all sorts of things. So it's nice that Tygra can turn invisible and has a little bit of telepathy. Chitara has the Sixth Sense and the speed, and Panthro has the strength. And Lion-O, you know, he has all of it. So let's get this guy out and take a good look at this man, this cat. And, oh, let's get him out. You know, in case you all don't know, this is the Masters of the Universe Classics body molds. So this is what these figures are based upon. And I'm having trouble pulling him out. He is in there good. I literally cannot pull him out of the packaging. Wow, he was in there. Okay. Alright, so let's name the elephant in the room. The paint apps and the quality. So, is he really orange? Yes. He is a bit dark orange. Now, as I'm looking at him in person, and I gotta say this too, so I really looked at the episodes, and I know people say that he changes colors in the cartoon, and he changes from turquoise to different shades of blue. Turquoise is obviously blue-green, fine. But in the show, and it's actually on the box here. So in the show, it's all different shades of blue. So it's this gray blue on the chest, which is the primary color, which should be there, and a lighter blue and an even lighter blue. And I don't know, that's just what he looked like on the show. I can never see the shades of green. So this is very reminiscent of the LJN figure, which is fine. I mean, he looks great. He just doesn't look like the prototype. that was presented to everyone. And, you know, I can see some paint defects already on mine. This overlay looks really weird on mine. It's like kind of crumbly and cracked. And it's as if they tried to put abs on him, but I don't know. It just looks, it doesn't look sleek, and it doesn't look as good as it can look. Also in the shoulder here, there's paint chipping on the joint, or it's not even fully painted. So that's a quality control issue. The shading on the back here doesn't align properly with his butt crack. It's like his butt crack should be shaded, but it's not. We get the pinless joints. I have a little bit of paint chipping here. So overall, the quality is not perfect. And I think everybody's pretty angry about that. But I don't know. He looks great. I hope, you know, they do a version 2. But I gotta say, I'm just thankful to have him. It's not the worst that he could possibly look, but... or it's not the best he could possibly look, but he's not the worst. There's a little bit paint scuffing on the logo. There's also paint missing here on this inner elbow joint that just looked like it scraped off, or it wasn't even put on. And he's missing the elbow pad, which is kind of disappointing. That's an easy thing, and they just forgot to put the elbow pad on. So who knows? But he looks good. The pinless joints look good. Let's go over some articulation. There's the shoulder pad looks good. I gotta say, he doesn't look as good as Bandai's version, the 9-inch Bandai version, which I sold because I was getting this, and the two 9-inch figures just didn't scale with any other figures. I gotta say, that Bandai line was excellent, and I wish it would have continued. I love the articulation. The quality was great on those figures. But alright, so enough about that. Let's check him out. So, I like his face sculpt, honestly. The face sculpt looks good. He has a nice little smirk. He looks happy, serene. So we got the rotation. I can't get really any... I know it's on a ball joint, but hardly any movement there. So that's a little bit disappointing. His sideburns aren't painted properly either. So, I don't know. A lot to be desired. You know what this reminds me of? Actually, it actually reminds me of a knockoff. It reminds me of when you buy, if any of you guys have ever bought any knockoff figures of SH Figuarts, Dragon Ball Z, or Mafex. Like that, this quality is what the knockoffs remind me of. So honestly, the quality control reminds me of a knockoff. Can't say that about all the figures that have come out in this line, but unfortunately, this Tygra suffers from that. So look at, there's also gappage in the calf there. That should be smooth and fit nice. And just not good. So back to the articulation. We get that much of a crunch back and forth. There's rotation in the hips. We get the soft thunder trunks there. So that's that soft plastic. Let's see, the shoulders. See, this is another thing I don't like about the Masters of the Universe Classics body mold. It's like, this is a cat, man. This is why I like Bandai better, because these guys should have really dynamic articulation, and he's just so thick, and there's just not a lot of movement, and I'm actually scratching the paint there when I move the arm up, so that's a little bit disappointing. And we don't get the full 90-degree bend with the elbows. We get minimal movement. We get the wrist articulation, the rotation. I haven't checked out the other hands yet, so we don't know what that's going to be like. He can do a full straddle, as you see. His kick goes up about that high. The thunder trunks impede him a little bit. We have a hip cut where we can rotate, hip rotation. Ooh, my knee is stuck. Oh, that's scary. Okay, so there we get the bend in the knee. That's as far as it goes, guys. So that's not a really dynamic pose. What else? There's a calf rotation. This is a little bit too much. So there's rotation in the knee, and there's rotation in the calf. You could have just used one or the other. You didn't need both. That's a little bit too much. There's a hinge in the ankle. We also get nice ankle pivot, which is always nice on the figures now. Oh, and just popped his calf right off trying to bend that knee. I actually might just glue this in, even though I shouldn't have to, but there's no need for this articulation in the calf. And actually that can take care of this gap. But, oh, as I try to bend his knee, that popped right off real easily. So I hope that's very disappointing, and I hope none of you guys have that problem, guys or girls. So not perfect by any stretch, but not horrific. One of the great selling points of this figure for me is the accessories. So let's take a look at the other head. I'm not even going to take that out because I don't really like it, and I like the smirk. So, nice little angry face. So we get the Bolo Whip, which is this is the unelongated version, I guess you could say. The handle, I think, is a little bit too long. The whip was not this long on the show, especially compared to his hand. It's just a little bit excessive, I think. So that's just a critique there. So this is what I'm really excited about. Oh, positive, definitely a positive. So from now on, it seems like with every new figure that comes out, and his thumb is stuck in there. Okay, so with every new figure that comes out, we get these new hinged hands like this. Where instead of going like this, which is how it normally comes, it goes like this. So it's the weapon holding wrist hinge, which I love, which I'm immediately going to swap out because all these guys have weapons and they need that good hinge to hold the whip. So you get two extra sets of hands. You get the clawed hands, of course, and then you get the hinged weapon holding hands. So this is super nostalgic for me here because the original Tygra from the LJN line came with a roped whip. It wasn't plastic, and I just love that. Now, it's a little bit sloppy looking. I wish they would have just made this 3 strings. And actually, what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to cut these balls off and get some thread or some rope like this and make it the way that it used to be with LJN. This is also a little sloppy here too, how it's just tied and there's this excess rope there. So I'm going to make this a little bit longer, but I got to say I love the actual rope instead of the plastic. And yeah, see, it's kind of, the whip should be a lot shorter. You need to cut it off like about there. Just saying. Yeah, and he can hold it and it looks great. Just love it. Love that it's a rope. Because also too, he needs to be able to wrap it up in a circle like Indiana Jones. Just wrap the whip up. And you also get the plastic whip, which reminds me of The Bandai version, which was nice, except the Bandai version seems better than this version because the Bandai version had some articulation in it. So the Bandai version was shaped like this. This is just plastic. This isn't bendy wire or anything like that. So the Bandai version was shaped like this, but it was either in 2 or 3 pieces where you could articulate and you could, and it would attach here and you could sort of, you know, articulate it however you want. So I don't know. I'm not going to display it with this whip, honestly. I'm going to use this cloth one, which I really, really like. And I don't know, it's just awesome. And it looks a lot better. But this is what Tygra looks like with this version. Once again, I got to emphasize that the handle is way too long. Yeah, and that's actually pretty cool. You can... This would be fun to display. It would take up a lot of room, but if you really love Tygra, you can display it like that. So, like I said, I didn't miss anything. You get 2 clawed hands that look like this. You can see that. And then you just get the other hinged hands that came on the figure, and then you get this weapons holding hand, which I love because it tilts down just like so, up and down, which is perfect for weapons. So guys, that's Tygra. What do I think about him? Not bad. Poor quality though. Poor quality, especially compared to some of the other figures. I hope they give us a redo of him the way that they did with Panthro and Lion-O. And improve on him, and actually give us what the prototype looked like. So that being said, I love this figure. He needs his elbow pad. Totally missing the blue elbow pad. This should be blue. There should be a strap around there. Yeah. So he's not bad. He's awesome because he's Tygra. He's awesome because we have another member of the core team. And it's just great to have this figure. And that's why I bought him and waited so long for him. Is it disappointing? Yeah, it's pretty disappointing that there were so many quality control issues. And I hope Super 7 will continue to be the good businessmen they are and make the things right that are not right. That being said, he's an awesome figure. I do recommend him just to have him because he's great. And I love Thundercats and I love the series. So I hope you guys like the review. And God bless you all. Peace.